Spring is in bloom and the gates to our country's national parks are opening, like the buds on your favorite flowers. From the mountains to oceans, our natural wonders have so many sights to offer.
It can be hard to decide where to begin, but now may be the perfect time. It is National Parks Week, and each day is themed to showcase the many ways to experience, learn, or get involved with the national parks.
After our virtual trip to all 63 parks last season, our guides needed a break, but they've been staying busy, updating their rankings and producing a new film. Friends of the show, Jim and Will Padditz from More Than Just Parks join us now. And we really enjoyed the whole journey last year, going to all the 63 parks, virtually, of course. But you recently released a list of the best parks for 2024. So, Jim, what determines where a park lands on this list? And how did that add up to Olympic being #1 again?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we take a couple of things into account. We use accessibility, recreation, crowds, and scenery. And this year we updated our formula based on user feedback that we were getting. So we more heavily weighted scenery. But I think one of the major things to point out here with the new rankings is that the crowds have had a big impact on rankings of various parks. Because crowds are just continuing to be, an issue in some of our more popular parks. So that'll change your ranking based on, what kinds of impacts those crowds are having. Olympic continues to rank #1. And I mean, you go to this park and you see why. It has everything you could possibly want from a national park and then some. And it just continues to score so highly on our rankings because it has everything you want, and they're able to properly manage all these different aspects of the park. You go there, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's amazing.
Well, we see on the list that the West Coast parks certainly did very well in the survey. We're near moving to second, Death Valley climbing 9 spots. So, Will, how does the recent string of rainy and even snowy conditions add to the scenery at some of these parks?
Yeah, well, it definitely changes the landscape a bit. Nobody ever really wants to see rain when they're visiting a national park, and snow can definitely lead to some road closures. But going on to, Death Valley moving up so many spots, the reason for that for us is just this is a park full of superlatives. It is the hottest place on planet Earth, the ever recorded air temperature. It is the lowest place in North America. It is the driest place in North America. You can experience snow and massive heat on the same day in this place. And because of how massive it is, you can escape the crowds. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and in the short term here, some of these new features might be fleeting, so I feel like we have to see it. Alex has a fascination with the park that happens to be last on your list, Gateway Arch. So, Jim, where does it fall short on your criteria, and how did this even become a national park?
Oh boy, Jen, where to begin here? I mean, the problem is Gateway Arch, it has none of the hallmarks of a national park. And it was actually kind of snuck in as a park in a larger funding bill that Congress passed a few years ago. It had it clocking in at 62 acres here. It's by far the smallest park. It could fit into the next smallest park, which is Hot Springs in Arkansas, more than 88 times with room to spare. So, this really, we're talking about a place that it's a incredible place, but it should be a national monument or something, a designation that's more befitting. I mean, this is not on scale with the Yosemites and Yellowstones of the world here.
Right, not to take anything away from it. It's an impressive monument, but
Yes.
we agree.
Yes, I had no idea it was a park until recently, so yeah, totally understandable. Now, we know you guys have a new project in the works that focuses on one of Utah's wonders. Will give us a glimpse into life elevated there at Natural Bridges National Monument.
Well, we got to say, Utah Office of Tourism has it going on. We've been working with them for the past decade to kind of showcase these amazing destinations. And Natural Bridges National Monument, we actually just released this video. If you check it out on our website, morethanjustparks.com, you'll see how incredible this is. And in an age of overcrowding, there's practically no one there. It is the world's first ever international dark sky park. So if you're a dark sky enthusiast, looking up is half the show. Not to mention it's home to 3 of the largest natural bridges on the planet. It's an amazing place to experience, and it's kind of a place where you can have it all to yourself.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. Looks phenomenal. You guys are like the sommeliers of national parks. I feel like they could recommend the perfect park for all of us. Many thanks, Jim and Will Padditz. You can check out their full rankings along with a guide to planning your trip to the national parks at morethanjustparks.com.